Hello, I'm Bill Hood with the School of Screenprinting. After I posted a recent video on printing white ink on black t-shirts with a single stroke and no flash, I began to get a number of emails about achieving results on printing white on black successfully. There were hits from across the United States, Puerto Rico, Philippines, Romania, Canada, United Kingdom, Belgium, Thailand, Mexico, and Germany. All of the emails were quite positive. It seems that I had struck a chord with a great many people that, after watching the video, altered the way in which they were thinking to become more successful at printing white on black. Those who responded explained that they had tried a variety of techniques but had not achieved success in printing white on black before. They had been searching for a better printing technique that would give them results in achieving higher quality with the least amount of work. They found that success in the push technique that I described in the video. I've learned a great deal about what works and what doesn't work over the years. As a consultant, I've traveled around the world visiting with over 7,500 printers, from a solitary printer to shops with over 1,000 employees. I learned that a great many printers are not successful, but some were, and a few achieved great success. Those that were the most successful were using the push stroke. The push stroke alters the mechanics of the ink transfer process. It does it in such a way that an opaque, brilliant ink deposit can be produced quite easily. Isn't this what we each really want? It isn't about the work, folks, or how we accomplish this feat. It's about the results, really. I did, however, receive one email from a printer, Bob, in the United States, who stated that he had tried printing with a push stroke and had great difficulty. Bob wrote to explain that although he got the point of the video, he was pretty sure that he would never, ever push a squeegee. He stated that it was just too uncomfortable for him, and he had been pulling a squeegee since 1972. And he was too set in his ways to change now. Most printers tell me that when they grow tired or their muscles start to ache, that they'll push the squeegee. My question is always, why wait until you grow tired? Why not start pushing at the beginning of the day and not grow tired at all? Those who I train at the School of Screenprinting or at one of the many trade show seminars always say it's much easier and more comfortable than pulling. You see, when you pull a squeegee, use the smallest muscles in your body, the fingers, to hold the squeegee. They grow tired quite rapidly, and by day's end, they're completely exhausted. When you push, you place the squeegee against the palm of your hand and use the large upper shoulder muscles to push the squeegee. The large muscles don't grow as tired and thus are still in good shape at the end of the day. Bob wrote back to say that he did give it another shot once, but everyone in the shop found it too uncomfortable and that it aggravated his thumbs. You see, he was using a squeegee from the 1940s that it's very much outdated technology today. This is a drawing of the squeegee that Bob was using. It was taken from a book in my library. The book is dated 1945, the year I was born. This squeegee was developed after the old one-arm squeegee press. These presses are still being sold for printing medium and large format work by hand. The thought process was that since this concept worked on the one-arm squeegee, that it would work on other manual work. Well, it really didn't work well at all. Hopefully most of us realize that things have changed over the years. There is no more stapled mesh, no more degrading the mesh, no more Rubylith, no more stat cameras, and certainly no more pulling a squeegee. Yes, my friends, things change and we must move forward in our thinking rather than being stagnant. We must grow our thinking so that we can grow our businesses. Think about this. You're not supposed to experience pain during the printing process. If your thumbs are aggravated or any other part of your body by pushing a squeegee, you're probably not using the device properly. Your thumbs are not used when pushing a squeegee. Neither are your fingers. The squeegee rests against the middle of your palm, with the thumbs and fingers in a relaxed position on either side of the squeegee. No pressure is ever exerted on the thumbs or the fingers. Bob wrote of using another printing technique later of pushing that really wasn't pushing at all. He explained bending the squeegee the other way and pushing with his thumbs. Well, what he was in effect doing was to simply pull the squeegee to the rear of the screen, done by reversing the angle of the squeegee. This really doesn't change the mechanics of the ink transfer process, only the ergonomics of holding the squeegee. You can see how the traditional pull stroke simply spreads the ink, while the push stroke does a much better job of ink transfer down into the mesh openings and onto the garment surface. You will note that in using the pull stroke that the thumb and fingers are under extreme stress, which potentially does great harm to the muscles in these extremities. The wrist must be locked into an unnatural position to force the squeegee down into position against the mesh. This has been proven to cause carpal tunnel syndrome. Keep in mind that the angle of the attack, the length of the squeegee blade, the flexibility of the squeegee blade, and other factors greatly affect the ink transfer when pulling a squeegee. Change any one of these variables and you get a different result. As the muscles grow tired, the operator will use less pressure and the result will be an inefficient or insufficient ink deposit and a loss of productivity. What we want to achieve is a better result of ink transfer, one that alters the ink deposit and provides better detail. While it is true that there are a great many other variables to control ink transfer, such as screen tension, a smaller footprint or larger free mesh area, off-contact distance, ink rheology, squeegee durometer and type, print speed, substrate variations, and even aesthetic goals, we must begin with the simple process of having the squeegee attack the ink transfer at the point where the squeegee edge meets the stencil. In this day and age of sending people to the moon, it's amazing that there are still individuals using outdated information, tools, and techniques that were replaced 60 years ago. We see that in our choice of squeegee and reverse ergonomics. Many people get stuck, and that's the way we've always done it, and we're not going to change now. This stagnation keeps one from growing as fully as they might. As my good friend Don Newman, founder of Stretch Devices and the inventor of the Newman roller frame in 1981, has so often stated, remember, new technology is rarely a quick fix. Improvements in print quality and speed usually comes at the price of hard work, testing, and an open mind to new possibilities. The press persons who get better and faster each year are constantly testing, working harder, applying constant creativity, and are more persistent than their peers might think. Don invented the constant force squeegee, which was the first squeegee to incorporate new technology in over 100 years. It's designed from the ground up to use as push squeegee. I believe that if you learn to think with an open mind, that you too will learn to be more passionate, creative, and indeed more understanding of the screen printing process. According to neurologist Dr. Barbara Wilson, doing beneficent, unique, random, different, and seemingly ridiculous things is a good way to exercise the mind and promote positive ways of thinking about the world around us. 1 hour of increased brain activity via thinking a lot or experiencing new stimuli can make you smarter, more energetic, more creative, more sociable, and more open to new experiences and ways of improving your business and, of course, your profitability. This is not a what works for one doesn't work for all. This process does work for anyone who cares to duplicate the effort and receive the same or better results. I've taught thousands of printers to use a better ink transfer mechanism through sharing my knowledge and understanding of the screen printing process. The key ingredient to an open mind, and indeed your success, is to be open to new experiences and changes in previous ways of thinking about these experiences, such as pushing versus pulling. Bottom line, it is never the work that counts, but the results that one is able to achieve. I'm Bill Hood of the School of Screen Printing. May all your impressions be great.